It finally happened. I got kicked out. I've filmed countless videos of meals, and I've never been asked to leave. While I was on a bit of a high after an amazing conference in Dallas, Texas, I was fired up to film and to enjoy a really nice meal, and in doing so I actually got asked to stop filming. So here's the story. But first, I need to back up. Grimaldi's is a legendary pizzeria chain, and when I say that, there's not only the story of expansion of a 100-year-old business built on coal-fired brick oven pizza into dozens of locations across the United States, but there's also the legend of staying with my uncle in Brooklyn 25 years ago. He promised me up and down he was going to take me to this coal oven pizzeria under the Brooklyn Bridge where they only sell a certain number of pizzas in the day and then shut down. We never did go back in the day, but I can say 25 years later, I was happy I got to try this pizza in a totally faraway place. Until I wasn't happy, but I'll get there. In case you missed my $50 Texas ham sandwich video, I was in Dallas, Texas to attend VidSummit. VidSummit is a multi-day conference where video creators come together and network and consume presentations from some of the biggest video creators on the planet. At the end of the third day of getting really fired up of making videos like this one for YouTube, I literally couldn't wait to make a video. So I turned on my camera, I walked out of that conference, and I was walking with a purpose. And this was kind of premeditated. I knew I was going to go for this pizza after the third day. So the idea was walk with a purpose, get down there, and sample some of the amazing food that Grimaldi's had to offer. My mission was clear: make a fire video highlighting the food at this pizza legend by sampling a couple of pies. But 3 days surrounded by creators that are kind of trained in high retention editing was actually really exhausting, so I needed to relax a little. To that end, I ordered a glass of their Mille Gradi Sangiovese to kick off the meal. Mille Gradi translates to 1,000 degrees in Italian, and it's a fitting name for their house wine brand. Get it? 1,000 degrees, coal fire, you know. For $11 a glass, I figured it couldn't be bad, and I love a nice Sangiovese. I kinda sat right near the bar, and it was difficult to ignore that the bartenders were literally pouring to the milliliter. It's okay because I'm not a big drinker, especially when I had 2 pizzas coming. And this would be a good time to tell you kinda how I was set up to record that day, because that kinda plays into how the story ends here. Usually when I get footage for this style video, when I record the meal on location, then do kind of a recap like this, I usually get my footage in handheld mode. My camera is relatively small and not very obtrusive, especially when I don't have the microphone attached. So I don't really ask for permission in most cases, because I'm usually filming either myself or myself and the meal. In this case, I was all hooked up. Camera, fuzzy microphone, my fancy switch pod so I can stand my camera on the table, and at one point I even set up a rather bright LED light so that I can get some better shots of the pizza. It was a little dark in there. You couldn't miss that I was filming in there. And over the span of my 50-minute meal, nobody said anything to me about taking video in the restaurant, which is great because I can show you all the amazing food I was able to try. 2 pizzas. First, to get the baseline, I got the 12-inch traditional pizza. The menu describes it as classic pizza with secret recipe tomato sauce, fresh mozzarella, and a garnish of basil, topped with signature cheese and spice blend. The construction had a very artisan vibe. It was almost slightly oblong, and it did have some bumpy spots where it was stretched a little bit less. And it looks like how this is assembled is with dollops of sauce and little chunks of mozzarella cheese throughout. Then it gets to bake, and you can see here from the charred spots that there was an uneven distribution of heat in the oven, and that caused some crunchy bits and spots across the pizza. Underneath the pizza, very indicative of a brick oven, white and dark spots. Pretty good! Definitely fresh mozzarella atop this pie, and I think that's okay in this application because it cooks at kind of a higher temperature and doesn't have a chance to lose all the moisture and get rubbery like a New York pizza would. Eating through this pizza was very good. One criticism that I definitely have is that the sauce was kind of sparse. I'm not the type of person to love a lot of sauce on a pizza, but I feel like they could have put a little more on this one. Good deal for $14. I could definitely eat this on its own and feel full. But come on guys, it was a special occasion and I needed to live like a Don. And it's pretty fitting. They had a pizza called the Don. Just for me. This is their traditional pizza topped with Italian sausage, meatball, and pepperoni. Your standard meat lovers, but on this kind of artisan-based coal-fired pizza. For the 12-inch, this pizza was $10 more than their traditional pizza at a total of $24. And I'm gonna say straight out, the addition of the toppings is not worth that much. And don't take that as me saying they're skimping on the toppings, because there was a fairly generous amount and the quality was pretty good. But for $24 for a single-serve pizza, no matter how many toppings you have on it, that price is steep. And honestly, there is a practical limit to how many toppings you can put on top of a pizza, especially a pizza that cooks as fast as this. Getting technical as far as those toppings, the sausage and the meatball were actually pretty dry, but they had that oily pepperoni to support them as well as the cheese. Again, you can see the sauce here is meager, especially when you compare to the amount of toppings. When you couple these observations with the cook technique of really high heat, really fast, the pizza is overall on the dry side. If I go back, I might be inclined to try something with pesto. I was actually thinking maybe even like a white pizza for a second, but I'm not sure olive oil alone is enough to actually moisten this experience. But that might be something I don't even need to think about, because while I was packing up and walking out to get a shot of their impressive coal-fired oven for the purpose of making this video and highlighting all the amazing things that they're doing and really put this thing over the top, I was informed they have a policy of no pictures. I mean, getting technical, I was taking video, and getting more technical, video is essentially just pictures backed up against each other with some audio. So I'm not saying I was in the right. It was kind of mortifying, but it made for this nice fun story. Now, I'm not the kind of guy to hold a grudge, and I understand them not wanting people running around the restaurant taking random video of what they're doing, so I'm gonna say it's really no big deal. Plus, I already got the most important footage highlighting their food. So while I'm definitely not advertising for Grimaldi, I did think it was pretty good. I just wonder if it's as good as what my uncle was telling me about 25 years ago.
John, happy birthday, baby. Happy birthday, John. Happy birthday, baby. Happy birthday, Michael.
If you enjoyed this and want my best food content to come up in your feed, hit this video with a like and consider subscribing. I put together a playlist of all the videos I created at VidSummit, including the shorts, which you can check out clicking in right here.